Okay, restart. Again. I'll do a video later for Affirmations Tarot, but first I wanted to talk about this wave that's happening currently. And there are people who have already gone through this. I'm talking about this current wave where people are really waking up to the interconnectedness of everything. And it's chaotic. It's been very chaotic because like it's like to the point where even the most scientific people cannot deny that people who just like do not believe in God or greater things at all, like they just can't deny that the world is kind of tense and hectic and crazy right now. And there is a logical explanation, and we are interconnected with energies. And it is this awareness that is making it's part of it, right? Um, and if you are like, you don't believe in anything you don't see, like just keep in mind quantum computers are a thing, and that is science. Like we can now measure with devices energy transfers happening. So it's just science you don't know, and that's okay. I don't know it. You don't have to know it to believe it. In fact, before we really had technology, people were believing in it, so it's all right. People were and weren't, right? But I wanted to talk specifically about these energy transfers. Like, there's a reason these quantum computers need to be in a room that's like shielded so that even people's thoughts can't impact their processes. And this is really important because this has to do with now a lot of people are feeling anyone who's like in their energy, anyone who thinks of you has these thoughts and then sends them your way. They're in your energy. They literally sent you this energy, and whatever the quality of those thoughts are is that energy. So you're feeling it. And you can notice the negative ones because you want to get rid of them, right? So there's a massive shift happening. And because people are feeling vibes, they're sometimes confused about where it's coming from as well, because it does get quite complicated. And it's like I don't even fully understand it. But people are right now, like right where I am, there's like a cult, okay? There's like a black magic cult. They really fucking hate me. I have triggered the fuck out of them, all right? And I've discovered that I've actually totally unknowingly been coping with another cult, totally separate from these people, all of my life. Like as far back as I can remember, I'm able to now see the connection of these energies, except the connection of these energies, while I didn't know, it is easy to see in the energy that the person manipulating my energy was aware, right? So that's how can that's the at that point, that's when you can call it a cult. Okay, because that's when it's black magic and it's the evil kind, right? Because there are people who their purpose does involve working in the shadow, okay? And that's not most people. Most people cannot do that and not be evil, all right? I'm not even, it's not in me. I'm not too proud to say that, all right? I'm saying it takes a special person, and I'm not talking myself up because it is not fucking me. There are people who are meant to work in the shadows, who are strong enough for it to not make them evil. They actually help people. Okay. So I'm talking about people who are doing it to damage and manipulate other people's lives and paths. Now, I've noticed with these groups that there is like a ladder, so to speak, of it being passed down like over and over and over again. And it's weird because they manipulate other people. Like they think that they need to take other people's gifts so that other people don't deserve them and they deserve them. So they will actually try to halt other people's lives with this black magic, okay? And they succeed. They succeed. These other people are in battles that they don't even know that they're in. So when they start to see that they can succeed in this, it validates this thinking process. All right? They get a piece of success in a way and where they were not seeing success before. And it's interesting because the thought doesn't seem to occur to them that they're messing over all these people, but they're also messing over each other. And it's a shame. As soon as they see somebody has a gift, they want to recruit them. They will try to corner them into being recruited. They will try to manipulate them by any means possible. They will get together and play good cop, bad cop to do it. They will do anything. And once you're in and you're kind of like sabotaging other people, you are, without knowing it, closing yourself off to your awareness of God and your gifts and everything God actually did give you. And it makes you easier for them to harvest. So it's like looking at this structure energetically. I can see that the further up their ladder that they go, the more gifts they're actually going to like find and discover that their superiors have been taking from them and blocking them from to use themselves, which is super strange. Okay. Like it's just mind-boggling because it's like they don't understand or don't believe or don't want to believe that God gave it to everybody. It's in you. And you have to do the work to bring it out. You have to do the work to find it. Okay? Life's not easy. And every single time you made progress forward in a godly way, you uncovered gifts. You may not even be aware of it in every single scenario, but in every single scenario, you either uncovered a gift more or you uncovered new gifts. Okay, that's growing. And that was without this cult group. Okay? So they get tricked. Now again, they don't care. Like they don't care. They don't care that they're doing this to you. And in their head, it's like, yeah, well, I'm also helping them get more. It's like a pyramid scheme, right? So for this helping you screw over more people, you get something out of it too. And this is how entitled they are. So it's like, it's that mentality. And unfortunately they do. They recruit ignorant people. And it is super unfortunate because there are very demonic entities behind this that do not want people to uncover their relationship with God. And God is currently pumping the planet with higher frequencies. And the more you're kind of involved in this like darkness, controlling, power tripping, saboteur, God complex, where you think you should be able to control things that are not yours to control, right? You're like fighting people from waking up and doing their own thing, but they're going to wake up anyways. This planet is literally being pumped up by God to wake us up. Like as we speak, slowly, more and more and more and more. And that's why it looks like the world is going crazy, right? You can sit there and look at it like science and be like, those are solar flares or whatever the heck, right? Fine, whatever. It's the solar flares. Either way, it's pumping energy into people and it's triggering DNA activations that were not there before. That does make people more aware of their relationship to God and their interconnectedness with all life. So you've got these people manipulating these energies who started before they were aware of that interconnectedness. They just saw it working and they didn't know what it was or where it really came from. It's God's system being exploited essentially by evil beings. And they're sham offering success that you already had to sabotage other people, because this war has nothing to do with you, but you're letting demons in and doing their war for them, and they have no power without you. Okay, so, and it's mind-boggling. Like, think about it. Okay, like you've seen if you're in a cult, like not like, something, a closed-minded Christian be like, that's a cult, not like that. If you're in a group of people that is actively sabotaging others and harvesting off of them, that's what I'm talking about. You've seen it. You've actively worked together in this group, especially if the group's been around a long time. There are occasions where your magic isn't good enough and it doesn't work. And you're invested, especially if you've called on demonic entities and you've made deals with the devil, so to speak. And you think you're invested to this person's downfall now. This innocent person that doesn't even actually know who you are, may or may not know exactly what you're doing to them, if they do know who you are. Okay? You know that in order to not serve the karmic repercussions, you have worked together with others in order to lower this person's frequency so that your black magic does work. There have been many cases in many groups across the planet where they're exploiting all kinds of systems, not just God's spiritual systems. They're doing death magic, getting life insurance policies illegally out in other people's names for when they die and stuff. This is serious. This is like the cray cray that people are starting to wake up to and become aware of. All right. If you start sticking up for yourself, you start trying to live in your true love and light, it triggers these demons in these black magic evil groups, the evil black magic, the evil kind, okay? It triggers them. Those demons do not want to let go. They do not want them to realize the truth. And once it's realized that your soul is old and operates on a frequency and was meant to operate on a frequency that does trigger demons and wake people up to God inside them, that makes evil go crazy. All right? It wants you to think you're invested, that you have to do all this stuff. They will go, oh my gosh, I've seen it in this town. People straight up echoing, right? Because they hate it when you set boundaries. They hate the stuff that you say. I have said things like, yeah, going full circle is realizing that you didn't make up all the stuff you said about me because it's actually true about you. Destiny swapping magic, that's what destiny swappers will do. They want everyone to see you how they actually are, and they try to gaslight you into being them, and then they do this black magic destiny karma swap because they know they've been doing bad shit. Okay? And this is bad too, because if you don't even know what's going on and you're in the community and you're getting manipulated by these people, they are actively, this is how they get away with it for so long, exploiting systems. They're tying the karma to you. And the moment you do the betrayal on the innocent person, that is the moment in spiritual law that you're consenting. So you are receiving their karma when you do this as well. Okay? So it is so important that yes, the world's going crazy. Yes, people are doing crazy things, but you do not take it into your own hands unless you've been given the authority to, like, legally in this earthly realm. There are already officers in the spiritual realm. There is already justice. There is already judgment. There is already God. There are already angels and deities. Okay? You do not need to be doing black magic to people to sabotage them ever. And in fact, if ever you do, when you're not just cutting people off to defend yourself, if ever you do send negativity out to them, I'm not talking about a return to sender either. If you ever do send negativity to them that they did not send to you, you've just been tricked by a demonic entity to do it. You are now prone to the lords of karma. And they're probably going to convince you that you have to run for your life. But you shouldn't. You should face it. You should work through it. You should try to make it right, because you are not obligated to these, like, POS energies. Like, they're not meant for us. They never were. Ever. Their only job is to trick, and then the more people invite them in and do their deeds for them, the more those people are being tricked by them, more and more and more and more and more, and they lose touch with reality and the actual universal laws, their actual relationship with God, more and more and more and more and more. But what they didn't make, they can't destroy. They didn't make you. And God is still in you. And that pisses them off every single day. And you'll see it. The moment you start getting in touch with your real power within, because that's when you win, okay? That's when you really win. You're going to see them turn on you. And their jealousy is going to come out full throttle. And you'll see, they were never really there for you. That's not love. Oh, my little baby hairs are crazy right now. But yeah, that's not love. And they targeted you for a reason. And if you're somebody being targeted by a group like this, you're being targeted for a reason. Everything is connected. And the devils don't like people with God's love in them. They don't. There are souls on this planet that God has recently made that are very special and very innocent and very bright. And then there are souls in the middle, and then there are really, really old souls. And they all have their own roles. They all are prone to certain kinds of demons. And it is very important that everybody start believing in themselves right now, because that's the only way to get rid of them. And they will actively destroy this entire planet. They have slowly been doing this. So, and like, If you're one of those people out there in like this evil cult doing that, oh, I have to, I have to, I have to. I think people like me are fair proof that you don't. The people you're stealing from are fair proof that you don't. You were created to live that way too. That gift of ease that you're so jealous of, where you just enjoy solving problems and you enjoy going to work, you enjoy contributing and being a part of a greater whole. That's something that is within everybody. There are some special gifts, I truly believe, that are only in some. That's not one of them. Living stably with courage and love and authentically to yourself is within everybody. And I didn't have a good life either, because that's another thing they like to prey on to convince you to join them. God didn't love you. He let bad things happen to you. You know what? I happen to know God put me where I was to be born into what I was born into so that he could see how to save those people. I did not have a good life. I experienced every single kind of abuse, every single category of abuse possible before I reached a 2-digit age. I didn't know love for a very long time, not until I reached adulthood. I didn't know what it was. I didn't recognize it. I bounced around foster homes, half the time being abused in those too, with an undiagnosed disability that I was villainized for. Purposely, willfully misunderstood. Okay. I think I'm the proof that you don't need to do anything like that for anything that you do deserve. You don't need to hurt anyone else. I shouldn't have made it. In fact, I'm one of those, little half-breed people that felt like they didn't fit in, coming from small towns that were severely separated, Native community, white community. Didn't feel like I fit in anywhere. Even on my mom's side, I'm another stat. She was a survivor of one of the last opened residential schools, and her trauma snapped her, made her go insane. And she was a danger to me. And I had to grow up in foster care. I shouldn't have seen the happiness I've seen being a survivor of generational trauma. Being severely combination ADHD to the point where people wondered if I was fucking autistic. And then being a foster child and what they called an extreme case file that bounced around a lot. I'm telling you, you don't need to hurt anybody. In fact, I truly believe that despite how wild everything's been lately, I think I was sent here as the proof that God is here and does want to be there for you. I know that people are sending all kinds of shit at me. And yes, I do feel bad for them. Because no, it doesn't stay. It goes right back to them. And if they block it, it goes to some sorry sucker that was ignorant in their game. Or one of their other loved ones. And I just want you to know that if you're watching this and you're a part of that group, God is telling you that I'm getting back up over and over again because he's trying to prove to you that his gifts are in you. And this external hunt you've been on isn't and was never meant for you. I truly think that on my native side of the family, they've been particularly targeted. It gets very complex because here we're ascending the lifespan of even this planet. But I've seen it. There's a reason I don't lash out at you. And won't. Some of you I remember on a level that was before this life. And this is new. This is new. This is new for me. I'm 34 years old, and it's been the past few months that I've really started seeing things. It's been running into you if you're a part of this group. That's triggered it. And I'm being shown things for you because some of you are family. And I just want you to know that this goes back. Our ancestors suffered in this earthly realm so that they wouldn't remember how far back it really goes, so that they don't even know their current connections to this planet and nature anymore. And it gets very complicated. It gets very complicated. And I was meant to be born here, half white and half native, and still with family, still in very split communities, so that I could see. I was meant to bounce through those foster homes so that I could see. It's not even about race. It's not even about general spiritual beliefs, because they were all universal. It's not about cultures. We were all meant to show our piece of the puzzle to each other. But there are very bad people on both sides, exploiting the weaknesses of both sides in every single interaction. Okay? There is no skin color that tells you who the enemy is. But there are energies exploiting traumas that predate this planet so that you don't wake up. Wars that happened in other worlds that you might not be aware of at all. I'm not even fully aware of it. But you'll feel it. You'll feel it every time you want to love life. And you know it was supposed to be different. Every time you felt like you didn't belong, and you craved this home, and you don't know where it's coming from. That love that you have, that you want. And you don't know why you know it. But you know it, and you miss it. That's your soul remembering. If you're a very old soul, you have been specifically and more severely targeted. Because the connection that you have with this planet on a spiritual level is what this planet needs. We need each other. The way we need a tree to breathe, and the tree needs us to breathe. There are energy exchanges that make us mutually symbiotic, so to speak. On a spiritual level, this planet needs us to wake up. And the native communities, when they're vibing at a frequency that they vibe at when they're awake, it does something for the whole human collective and this planet and all the animals and life on it. So, and this sucks to say, like, I don't want to talk about it because I wasn't a survivor of the schools. My mom was the survivor, my late mother. And those happened. Okay? In a way that most people weren't aware of it. They went about it and hid it. They hid it well. And you got targeted for your gifts by evil beings that don't belong here. They don't even have their own flesh body. And then the truth always comes out, and the cat always comes out of the bag. Okay, so now the schools are shut down. But now they're exploiting different systems and ways of holding down this awakening that the planet does need. I don't know how open you are to this idea of being an old soul. But there may be things that in our language, English, in the English language, you might be familiar with. And you might resonate very deeply looking at it. And yeah, there's not a whole lot out there, but it'll help maybe. Some of you are what are called Spica Corvus. And this is a rare group that actually was meant to cross dimensions, into the spirit realm, even the shadow worlds, to help people. And they can do this without being evil. Okay. And this can be very exploited. Especially if you can be successfully convinced something is okay that isn't okay. They have truth. So they say something that feels right and slowly get you more and more into something that is not right. That is right. You were built to do that. And you are one of the few. But it was supposed to be for helping people. There are so many beautiful souls. There are Polarians that just super deep bond, like with the planet's life. Not everything on it, not the creatures on it, specifically the planet. There are people in our culture that are connected to the earth in a special way that they're totally not aware of. And they were meant to be advocates for everyone else and the earth. They were meant to mediate that connection because they have an ability to have a very deep awareness of it, more so than other people. Sorry, don't worry, it's a sports bra. I'm not flashing everyone my boobies. I'm trying to get comfy. I feel weird for crying on camera. But there are people they're called Venusians. And in this dimension, obviously, we are not aware of Venus aliens, okay? Or Mars. But there are dimensions where that's a thing, still. Okay? Venusians. I know that we have some of them. You'll have to look up their traits to know if it resonates. There are people that will resonate with Lemurian, being Lemurian and Atlantean, and that's a this planet lifetime old soul. Sometimes it predates that and you started incarnating then. And that's why it'll resonate. They were targeted too. And we have a lot of people that were a part of that. There are crystal children that are new souls that we have. Brand new. By God. That have a special connection to very old entities and energies that are the Palladians. Now that's one most people have heard of. They're very common. We have rainbow children. New souls. A big one is Mintakan. Huge, actually. We have Mintakans. Mintakan. Even the name. That's you. You're gonna... If I say it, Mintakan. The traumas and being stuck in traumatic mindsets are what keep your DNA, your souls, from being able to activate the gifts from being an old soul, the gifts from God. Not healing prevents this DNA activation that really helps you ascend all this fuckery and bullshit. And the biggest thing is going to be not doubting it. and not doubting yourself. God hid your gifts inside you. Do you remember, if you've watched Harry Potter, do you remember how they protected the Philosopher's Stone? Voldemort was so mad, this super powerful ancient being, just pissed that he could not get this stone. And there was really powerful magic protecting it. The only person who could get it was Harry, who didn't want to exploit it. That's God's gifts in you. That is the metaphor there. He put it there for a reason. Can't be focused on other people. You have to be, but biblical terms calls it pure. You don't even have to be pure in the way that we understand the word now. Pure in this scenario means focused on yourself and going within yourself. Because when you unearth your gifts from God there, nobody and nothing can take it from you. And that's a promise. So simple. Hidden in plain sight. And that is God. Anyways, this has been a really long video, and I can't believe I cried in it and ruined my mascara. I don't wear waterproof mascara, but I hope this helps. Even, I know that there are a lot of people out there right now going through very parallel things. I hope this helps you, regardless of your race and gender. I hope this helps the people around you. Because there are old souls everywhere being held down. But I can only speak to these pains with my Aboriginal side, specifically because that's where I come from. And I know generally there's going to be something parallel out there for you. Whether you're a white person held down by guilt, but you're battling these groups, and it's just different weaknesses that they're exploiting through different traumas, having family on a different side of the scenario, or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? It's parallel. It's going to be parallel for a lot of people. God is very powerful. And I want you to know that it's not special within certain people. It was supposed to be for everybody. Just come back to the truth, or stay in your truth. Because I don't think that this frequency pumping, I don't think it's going to stop. And I don't think we've seen the worst of it either. I think it's going to get more and more intense, or more and more often. And never forget, nothing stays the same, and it wasn't meant to. I truly believe everyone can be redeemed. I think forgiveness is something everyone should do. Sometimes it's annoying to have to go back in and work on forgiving shit when I just finished forgiving other shit. But for you, it's important to do it and not take it personally when things go wrong, when people do things that are wrong. And I'm learning that. Not letting it impact me, because it's not mine. Doesn't have to be yours either. And no matter what's gone on, you can move forward. That doesn't mean you have to do it together or give anybody a second chance to hurt you again. It's merely losing all the baggage and the pain and the trauma of having to go through it and moving forward in peace. That's going to be easier for the people who haven't built a habit up of doing revenge, but it is an important thing for everybody to get strong enough to do. Just keep clearing. Just keep clearing. You can clear it. Every culture has a way of clearing. I think that's it. Okay, well, yeah. I guess I'll do my affirmations video now. That was weird.